What is going on, guys, and welcome back to the next iteration in this Davinci Resolve tutorial. Today I have some really cool editing things that we're just going to go over, just some housekeeping stuff just before we move into color. I know we're going to get into color soon. I know you guys are excited about that. So there are just a few little things that I want to show you guys with the edit tab. So we're going to get into some of these editing tools and intermediate editing stuff that's going to really help you with your editing, pretty much moving forward with the remainder of the course outline that I have here. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into the software. So here we are in Davinci Resolve, of course, and what we're going to first do is we're going to need to work with a clip. So let's go ahead and grab one of those. Let's go over here to my Helios 44 test, and let's just drag and drop this in here. Alright, and then what we're going to do is we're going to trim out our clip a little bit just so we have a little bit of footage to work with. I don't want anything too crazy. And voila. Alright, so now that we have a clip, let's start talking about some editing housekeeping stuff. So first I want to talk to you guys about this stuff up here that I didn't want to show you guys early on in this course because I didn't want to overwhelm you. And some of it is kind of self-explanatory, but some of it is not. Alright, so first off, right now you'll see that by default we have the selection tool. The selection tool does exactly the way it sounds. It selects stuff, it moves stuff, okay? So as you can see, you can click on things, drag it, move it around, so on and so forth. The best way to explain is if you have two clips. Let me grab another clip here. And let's actually push this in and let's shorten this for a second. If you have the selection mode and you move the clip to the edge, if you come to an edge of a clip, you see this little icon here? If you move that forwards and backwards, you see how it overwrites the clip that's next to it? Okay, what if you didn't want that to happen? What if you wanted your clip to kind of shift things and domino effect it and push it as you edited it? Let me show you what I'm talking about. Now let's go to our trim edit mode, okay? And now if I move this clip forwards, you see how it's also shifting the next clip next to it forward? So it's almost like you are, in essence, kind of taking one clip and you're taking the other clip right next to it, and instead of cutting over it and deleting it, now what you're doing is you're taking it and pushing it with it. They work together as a unit, and that's going to really help you later on when you get into your different bigger timelines. Everything is going to domino effect downstream, and you're going to want to be able to edit things downstream. And so that's one thing that you can do that with the trim edit mode. Okay, let's jump back into the software. So now let's go ahead and go back to the selection tool, and then I'm going to show you guys this tool. You might like it, you may not, but I'll just show it to you anyway just because we're here. But the dynamic trim mode, okay, the dynamic trim mode is really neat. Basically this works in tandem with another setting that I'm not going to get into, but in short, basically if you put your playhead somewhere and you hit the space bar like play, so if I hit space, you see how it's kind of played. It started like back like a few seconds and then it moved forward. So if you hit play, you see how it starts back a few seconds and comes here? So it kind of shows what your clip, is like, a few seconds leading up to where you are, and then a few seconds afterwards, and then it cuts back to where it was. So that's like the dynamic trim edit mode. You want to see a few seconds back, well, that by default will jump back a few seconds. So a lot of people actually like that because of that, okay? And then the next thing that we got is the blade tool. So we'll go ahead and turn our trim dynamic mode here. If we take our blade tool, the blade tool does basically what it sounds like. It cuts or slices right in the middle of a clip. So you can just kind of move it wherever you want, and let's say you want to slice right here, you can slice. Now of course that's not the most efficient way to slice. I have shown you guys in video number 2 where you guys can actually move the playhead around, and you can just click anywhere you want and then create a slice right here by pressing the S on the keyboard, because we made some changes to our keyboard customization. And if you're not sure about what I'm talking about, definitely go ahead and check out my video number 2, keyboard customizations, and I'll link that here as well. Okay, let's go ahead and undo all of that. Insert is really cool. So let's say you have a clip, you like it, you say, okay, maybe from, let's try this actually telephone pole here. So let's say you start with the in and out mode, and you want to end it here. You can hit boom, drop it in. You want this clip here, you have your eye and you have your output modes here. You can go over here and hit the boom, insert mode. You see how you kind of build a timeline really quickly, and you can of course make keyboard customizations to assign to all these things as well to kind of make this be really quick. Okay, let's go ahead and grab a few more clips here. Let's go back to the guy on the wagon, and then we're gonna actually take this car clip as well and put this here, so we have two clips right next to each other. Okay, now what I want to show you guys is locking clips and disabling and muting them and things like that. So now we have some volume on this clip, we have some volume on this one as well. Let's go ahead and put these on 2 different tracks. So let's say, for example, you wanted to move this clip, but you didn't want the audio to move, right? You see how they move together as a single unit? Well, you can actually lock a clip right here or a track, and now no matter what I do with this clip, that bottom one stays locked. Okay, so that is a really cool thing. That's actually a really cool thing you could do and feature, especially if you have music and you're editing a lot and you want the music and you want to edit to the music. Well, you can just lock the music track like this and you can edit on top right above it. Okay, so that's a kind of a good use case that I can think of. Now let's go ahead and unlock that track, and let's say, for example, you have 2 tracks where there's audio. So let me go ahead and get 2 audios overlaid on top of each other, but you only want to hear this one. Well, instead of going in and disabling tracks and things, you can actually solo a track. Okay, and now you're only going to hear just this one. You're not going to hear the one underneath it. Okay, and you can also disable tracks by pressing D, or clips in general by pressing D on the keyboard, and now you disable this one. You press D on the keyboard and that disables that one. D to enable, and then D back to to enable it back as well. Okay, you can also do that with disabling track right here, but I like to do D because usually you can mute the sound and the video clip all at the same time, and it's just a lot faster. Okay, and if you have any questions ever about stuff in Davinci Resolve, like, this is probably going to be the best advice I've ever given into any video. All right, guys, it's probably going to blow you away, but there's actually a user manual in Davinci Resolve. So you go up here to this help button up here, and you go over to Davinci Resolve reference manual, and it will actually open up a document like this, and you can always search for things that you don't know. So let's go over, like, for example, the dynamic trim mode. So if you go back to up here, you can hit Control F to find, or you can click the magnifying glass in your Adobe, and you can do that. You can just type in dynamic trim, there you go, dynamic trimming. Okay, and then you can cycle through by hitting these little arrows, and here you are, dynamic JKL trimming. So, and it kind of explains what this stuff does, and it kind of gets into more detail. So you can actually learn kind of anything and everything you want, really, without watching a video online. You can just learn from the manual, and that's actually how I learned a lot of this stuff. But sometimes you just need that guided training, and so have someone to talk you through things, which is what I wish I would have had, which is why I'm making these videos for you guys right now. Okay, so either way, guys, that is the manual. Definitely feel free to get comfortable with that and using it as well, and I plan to go over pretty much every single thing in that manual. I know that's videos for an eternity, but either way, I do plan to do that. All right, that was a ton of little editing, housekeeping stuff and technicals, but now we can finally move on to the color page. I have so much to teach you guys in color, I didn't even know where to begin. I mean, I could probably make a whole channel just on color, but either way, you guys are gonna have a blast in here. And then once we get through color and then we get through some Fairlight stuff with audio, and we'll be on our way to delivering, and then we'll get into the nitty-gritty of all this stuff that I've been teaching you guys. So either way, guys, I hope you're having a wonderful evening, and I will see you guys in the next video. Take care.